I was emptying a house out and I run across what could possibly be a gold mine. Now, I'm not a big comic book fan. I don't collect comic books. Sometimes, I mean, yes, I do get comic books and never read every once in a while, but I'm not a big collector and I don't know a whole bunch about them. But I run across two boxes, one slap full of comic books, and the other is other like Hot Wheels and other comic books. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little series called Magic in the Attic because I've stumbled on these and I don't know much about them, and we're going to learn about them together. I did do a little bit of research just to kind of see what I have here, and I just randomly picked five, and here we go. Let's see what I have. Okay, so number one on the list, I'm so excited about this, is The Adventures Beyond, the greatest space fantasy film of all time, Star Wars in Mortal Kombat. Look at this. Holy cow. You see that? What we know about this is Star Wars number 37, published by Marvel, July of 1980. Wow, how about that? Of course, it's called In Mortal Kombat. It's official adaptation of The Empire Strikes Back from Cloud City, where Darth Vader and Luke fight. You know, where Luke learns that Darth Vader is his father. This is the film's adaptation comic book from that. And whoever originally owned these had a sticker put on there that says "Do not open." How about that? But as you can see on here, it doesn't show Darth Vader, which I don't know, is kind of strange to me. And it looks like the guy had paid $1.50 for it. It was originally 40 cents in 1980, and Luke's neck looks a little short in the drawing, and there's no picture of Darth Vader. There is a hand here with a red lightsaber. In 1980, that would be the only person that we know uh, that would have a red lightsaber. However, I don't know. I just find it strange that Darth Vader's not on this cover. I mean, that's the number one selling villain in Star Wars. But, anyways, so as you can see here in the bottom right hand corner, that is Marvel's signature Spider-Man head. And in this era, that's they always put a little Spider-Man head down there. And yeah, I don't know who this is up here in the corner here. That I mean, obviously it's Luke. However, blonde hair is a little long, and the colors are not matching. It almost looks like He-Man or who was the Barbarian? You know, just without the muscles. Conan the Barbarian, or He-Man without the muscles. So, anyways, that's number one. And let me see what else I got here. Art cover was by Carmine Infantino and Bob Wycheck. So there we go. July of 1980, Star Wars number 37. How about that? Okay, number two is Batman number 497. Look at this. Batman number 497. Now, it's still in the wrapper like all these are, but I can feel here where the color changes that this is just like maybe that's just a little flap that covers the main picture because you can't see the picture very good here. And I've never really liked uh, Batman's drawings. I feel like the muscles are too over exaggerated, even for the villains. Even Bane is too big, right? So that's one thing I've always didn't like about it. The DC drawing of Batman comics. Excuse me. Uh, this is climax of the Knightfall storyline, and this is the actual episode where Bane breaks Bat's back. How about that? And as you can see in the picture here, the bat symbol here is like messed up. And what else was there? Oh, yeah, where this little card lays over, you can see it doesn't really match up, and it's black and white where this overlay is, right? And another place is up here in the Nightwing or the Knightfall logo. It says number 11 up here by my finger tapping, and you can see the logo is messed up there too. So, but this is the famous episode or series or the comic book where Bane breaks Batman's back. Now, you notice up here we have a T-Rex. Does anybody know why there's a T-Rex? Now, I had to look that up because I'm thinking, well, this is kind of weird because I'm not a huge, big Batman fan. But apparently, I mean, I am a Batman fan, but I'm not a comic book guy, and I've never read comic books back from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So, but anyways, why is there a dinosaur here? Well, apparently, in the T Rex is from Batman number 35, which is from 1946, and it was an issue called Dinosaur Island. And you've seen the movie Jurassic Park, right? Where the doctor brings in, or the creator of Jurassic Park brings in people to so they can visit the park and go, "Wow, this is amazing," and they can tell other people and kind of give their stamp of approval, right? Well, that's what Batman and Robin did. Is they went to Dinosaur Island to kind of give the approval, and someone hijacked mechanical dinosaurs, and Batman and Robin had to fight for their life to survive against dinosaurs. Well, when they won the day, he kept the T Rex as his trophy. And of course, the T Rex has been in the Batcave since 1946. So that's why, they put the T Rex here. So isn't that interesting? And this one was $1.25. Oh, what year was this? This was July of '93. Holy cow. I had just graduated high school. And yep, in Canada it was $1.60, and in the UK it says 70p. I'm not sure what the P stands for. Now it's euro, right? Is euro a P? No, it's EU, right? Yeah. So I don't know what 70p is. But anyways, that's the second one randomly that I pulled out of the box. Okay, moving on to number 3, Star Wars 105. This was released in 1986. And as you can see, one thing that I do not like about these older comic books, I feel like the pictures are terrible. Everybody raves about how the artwork is so good. It's kind of blah to me. I mean, who puts neon green with orange Star Wars words along with this tan looking background? I mean, it looks stupid, right? Am I the only one that thinks that? Oh, and there's a rabbit here, which makes really kind of weird how they drew that rabbit, because a lot of people don't realize this, but that is a character called Jaxxon. Okay? So Jackson was created by the writers because the writers wanted something weird, but he looked a lot like Bugs Bunny. And guess what? Lucas hated him and asked that they slowly write him out. Well, I don't know if they asked him slowly to write him out, but he asked them not to ever put another Bugs Bunny like character in Star Wars. So they wrote him out. However, Jackson became popular and they ended up bringing him back and making him canon, along with him getting his own action figure. So yeah, that's kind of cool. But yes, this was released in 1986. And the good thing about this is that Marvel was ending their 10-year run of Star Wars. And they didn't print as many. And this is 105, and I think 107 was the last episode. It also has on the back here, the owner of this also put "Do not enter." I mean, "Do not enter" on the backside. Do not open. Sorry. And like we were saying before, this looks like a regular rabbit, right? Well, that's not what Jackson really looks like. And there's a bunch of little ones around here. Jackson was a smuggler and a halfway decent pilot and handy with the blaster. So why they drew Jackson to look like a regular rabbit here is kind of weird. And he was a humanoid. He stood on two legs, looked like what you would think a humanoid rabbit would look like. And also, you can't confuse him for the original Jabba the Hutt. The original Jabba the Hutt was a yellow walrus. And yes, this is not the actual color. See, this rabbit here is not the actual color of Jackson. Jackson looks like the Grinch with floppy ears, and he would wear an orange suit like the rebels wore. Okay? So here's the deal. The yellow walrus in Jackson got mixed up. People got them confused years ago because they kind of look similar. But, the walrus has the big teeth and he's a little more yellow than the greenish yellow that Jackson is. So, but anyways, also the Marvel. Remember what I was telling you? Let me see here. Where's that Star Wars at? Oh, there was something else too. Of course, this was during All right, so you can see the two Spider-Man logos in the corners, right? So one's the solid and one's you can see the webbing. But I also like to point out that this come out in 1986, right? Yeah, this one come out in 1986. So they kept to, this was Empire Strikes Back. If you notice, if this is Luke Skywalker here, right? It's kind of hard to tell. He's got his blue lightsaber. And then, of course, in 1986, it was after Empire Strikes Back, and he has his green lightsaber. So I thought that was kind of cool. All right. Let me flip my little notes here. Yes, I have to take notes because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All right. So next, number 4 out of our 5 is we have Action Comics number 690, and it's from August 1993, Reign of Superman era. All right. So this is shortly after the death of Superman. So any of you diehard Superman fans, if you remember correctly, Doomsday and Superman fought from one end of the world to all the way around, right? And they ended up dying. Both of them killed each other in front of the Daily Planet. That's Superman and Doomsday, right? Well, after Superman's death, there was like 4 imposters that showed up claiming to either be Superman or the next Superman. Well, this one happened to be the Eradicator. And as you can see, he's wearing the yellow glasses because he wasn't exactly like Superman, because Earth's sun was too bright for him, for his eyes. They were too sensitive. So he had to wear the yellow goggles, right? Okay. So this DC comic was $1.50. In Canada, it was $1.95. In the UK, it's 70p. And you can see the military down here. You know, it looks like World War II helmets and things like that. And let me see what I have here for notes. Okay, August of 93. And I want to point out on the back, August of 93, that's when everybody was getting, I guess it was a PlayStation. And I mean, I started with an Atari and went to PlayStation, but prepare yourself, coming September of 93, Mortal Kombat. Look at that. That was the ad on the back of this DC comic, right? And it's got Raiden, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Kano, Goro, and Scorpion. I mean, those were the originals, right? So I find that pretty cool. I also noticed on this cover that it says down here, it says the man of tomorrow makes his move, right? Well, if you know, when they say, when I was talking earlier about 4 imposters showing up to claim to be either Superman or the next Superman, the man of tomorrow was one of those 4. So this was the Eradicator with the yellow glasses, and then the man of tomorrow was the mix. It was a robot version of Superman. So I think that's kind of cool that inside, I guess inside this issue, we know about the Eradicator, and now the man of tomorrow makes his move in this. Of course, I have no clue what's in the inside of it. Excuse me. Holy cow. But anyways, that's number 4. Holy cow. All right. So moving on. So number 5 is Beyond Zero Hour by Wizard Press. Now, this is not a comic book. This was a guide to help fans navigate DC's Crisis in Time event, which is the messy history of the DC universe. They rebooted it in 1994. Okay? So, this is the cover. It's still in the wrapper. And it has this big tag up here. And of course, on the back, it's Skybox, you know, the cards, Superman cards. But if you notice, a comprehensive look at DC Comics. First edition, $3.95 in the US, $5.35 in Canada, and it's much thicker than the other comic books, the normal ones that I was just showing you. Also, I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but years ago, Nicolas Cage was going to be Superman, and he, you know, prints came out of him dressed in the costume, and I want to say they spent quite a bit of money in pre-production to get ready for this movie, but then it was canceled. Okay. I don't remember why. I don't know why. But I was upset because I wanted to see Nicolas Cage as Superman. Well, in this last Flash movie, when he's running around and he's in the area where he can see the different timelines and the different worlds, Nicolas Cage shows up as Superman, and I thought that was pretty cool that they did that. Well, in this picture, I'm not going to say it looks like Nicolas Cage, but he has long hair like Nicolas Cage. So I find that kind of funny that he doesn't have the clean cut hair as in all the other Clark Kents, right? Okay. Now, with that said, this is a first edition 96-page full cover, and this is a guide that teaches what storylines that have been mixed up for years. They come in here in this book and they say, look, this is what is happening. And I got some examples here I looked up. Example number one is the Hawkman Nightmare. So in Beyond Zero Hour, there were 3 different Hawkmen running around prior to 0 hour. Okay? There was 3 Hawkmen running around. One was a reincarnated Egyptian prince, one was an alien policeman, another was a Golden Age hero. Fans had no idea which one was the real one, so they fused all 3 together in this book into a single Hawk God to start his history over. Aha, how about that? Now, let me flip my page because I got another example here. Also, it has a winners and losers list, but it's not what you think, okay? So to give you an example, the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, lost his way and became Parallax, right? A lot of y'all know that. Some of you don't. I didn't know. But anyways, in the 0 hour, it explains this. In the 0 hour, it explains this, that he lost his way, became Parallax, and he's not really a hero anymore, right? So what they did is that in this zero hero, zero hero, Beyond 0 hour, they explain that Hal Jordan is no longer a Green Lantern hero, that he is Parallax, and that his replacement is Kyle Rayner. And that's a big deal because this was what, 1994? And Hal had been the Green Lantern, Earth's Green Lantern, since the 50s, I believe. I mean, wow, this is pretty cool. And I'm scared to open it. I don't know if I should open it. But if I ever do, I'll do a video on that. So, what do y'all think? Do any of y'all know what any of these books have seen them or read them or know what the insides look like? I would like to know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. And do I have a gold mine here? I mean, that's just randomly pulling 5, right? And to me, there's some pretty, I mean, Batman getting his back broke by Bane, that's a big stinking deal, if I remember correctly. I cosplay Bane. So, the movie Bane. So yeah, man, I find this interesting that I found all this stuff, and this will be the first video. Next week I'll do 5 more, and we'll see where it goes from there. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. And hit that subscribe button. I mean, this is we'll go through these together and see what I got. See ya.